As the wizard Saruman's treachery is revealed to Gandalf, he reveals himself as Saruman of many colours, claiming that white can be dyed, overwritten, or broken. Gandalf responds with a damning statement that it is no longer white, and that breaking a thing to find out what it is means leaving the path of wisdom. Here I'm going to explore this remark and give my own interpretation and thoughts, and just what the wizards are speaking about during this conversation.
White,
he sneered.
It serves as a beginning. White cloth may be dyed, the white page can be overwritten, and the white light can be broken. In which case it is no longer white, said I. And he that breaks a thing to find out what it is has left the path of wisdom.
One reason I love the entire conversation between Gandalf and Saruman is that it can be interpreted in so many ways. It's possible to read some kind of scientific principle in Saruman's words here, the breaking of white light as decomposed with a prism. Gandalf's words can then seem like a fear of progression or even understanding, as there can be a beauty and knowledge found within those colours that form the breaking of the white light, the beauty and knowledge being an understanding of what makes that white light. I see Saruman as speaking about white as something analogous to blank, clean or plain. It merely serves as the beginning, as you can write on the blank page, and you can dye the plain unadorned cloth. Saruman's words are about seeing white as something that has to be added to. It's arguably inferior to what can be made from it, or what comes after. No one would want to look at a book of beautiful white pages if there was no writing on them. He's viewing white as some sort of raw material for the creation of something better to come. Gandalf's response angers Saruman in its simplicity, in which case it is no longer white. To Saruman, this would be like saying the Rings of Power or the Seeing Stones were no longer the materials used to create them in the first place. Gandalf is meaning that white exists as a concept, and it represents purity and perfection. This can be stretched to goodness, wisdom, and maybe even authority. Gandalf sees these as worth preservation, and something that is by definition good. To break it means to lose it forever. White may exist to Gandalf as a beginning, but it's also an end. When Gandalf speaks of leaving the path of wisdom, he is saying that you can use your inner power and authority to have a very real effect on the world and its inhabitants, and that it isn't always a bad thing, it can actually be wondrous. The world itself was created in this way. Saruman is unfortunately not using his power and authority in any good way. He's using it to break because he can do it. Saruman should not attempt to justify himself through curiosity or discovery, as he is well aware of what his purpose is in Middle-earth and the authority that he holds. To Gandalf, Saruman is diminishing not only himself, but the Order of the Astari, by forcing his own will and ideas onto the world in a way that goes way beyond his given authority and purpose. He can do this, but it is reprehensible and unwise to do it. To me, Gandalf can see a difference between curiosity and the pursuit of knowledge, over that curiosity and pursuit of knowledge breaking something fundamentally good or negatively affecting others. It ties in with the concept that's throughout all of Tolkien's works, the difference between knowledge and wisdom. Saruman can see that breaking something to find out what it is a fundamental part of progression and understanding, but Gandalf would see knowledge just for the sake of it as being useless if one does not know the difference between what is right and wrong or what is good. Progression through destruction leads to a separation of what is right and wrong, and Saruman was certainly reaching, or had already reached, a mad scientist stage where the lives of others were simply expendable in the pursuit of his own knowledge and power. Saruman sees the ends justifying the means, and if other lesser beings suffer for the greater good in his own mind, then it was still worth doing. Saruman really demonstrates this view when he speaks to Gandalf of the designs not changing, but only the means.
We can bide our time. We can keep our thoughts in our hearts, deploring maybe evils done by the way, but approving the high and ultimate purpose. Knowledge, rule, order. All the things that we have so far striven in vain to accomplish, hindered rather than helped by our weak or idle friends. There need not be, there would not be, any real change in our designs, only in our meat.
So in the pursuit of knowledge, Saruman has already left the path of wisdom. Saruman, now of many colours, speaks of knowledge, rule and order, but he doesn't include wisdom in the list of things that the wizards have apparently striven in vain to accomplish. The designs won't change, just the means, and he's more than happy to allow others to make the sacrifices necessary to accomplish his own designs. I used to read Gandalf's words as perhaps reflecting Tolkien's own attitude towards the advancement of technology, and I know that many other people do interpret this conversation in this way, but I can now see that within the scope of Middle-earth, Gandalf is right to chastise Saruman. His words are a warning to the wizard, and his first attempt to sway Saruman from the dangerous path that he's set himself on. I don't take his words as a simple science is bad response on the part of the author, but it's a negative view on knowledge at the expense of wisdom, or knowledge at the expense of others. Thanks for watching not only the first video of this new channel, but the first video I've ever made. Maybe a bit rough around the edges, but I hope that will improve with time as I make more videos. If you did enjoy it and you want to be updated when a new video is posted, subscribing would be greatly appreciated. As I say, I'm brand new to all of this. I can use all the support I can get. There are a few people I want to personally thank in this first video. The YouTube channel Lord of the Rings, for willingly sitting through my first edit attempt, giving feedback, advice, and generally being supportive of me starting my own channel. I also want to thank Phil Dragash, whose voice you heard as Saruman and Gandalf in this video. Those clips were lifted from his Lord of the Rings Soundscape audiobook project, which is easily the best Lord of the Rings audiobook I've ever heard, and one that I still listen to, and I've listened to many times over the years. Finally, to the artists and their work that I've used in this video. Without their work, this would just be a black screen with me speaking over it. So I've provided links to everyone that I've just mentioned in the description, so it'd be great if you could check them out as well. So once again, I appreciate you watching all the way to the end, and I hope you'll be back for the next video. Thank you.